As a quick precursor to this episode, I would love to invite you to attend the autumn edition of my in-person event, Dare Greatly in the Coaching Arena, which will be held on Friday the 8th of November in Barnes, southwest London. It's a 5-minute walk from Barnes Station, and there's also a free car parking place on site. So it's the best of both worlds. We will be preparing and planning for your best ever 2025, and you will leave with that vision and strategy for your next 12 months with a newfound sense of connection and focus. We will be harvesting your present and planting the seeds for a profitable and joyful 2025, allowing your business goals to bloom with ease. I'm very excited to be bringing the warmth of the season and all of those beautiful colours and everything we can learn from shedding what no longer serves us and preparing for spring. Embrace the seasons of change and join me on 8th of November to Dare Greatly in the Coaching Arena. Do not worry if you don't know anyone. I will ensure that you feel welcome from the moment you arrive until the moment you leave. I cannot wait to see you there, and grab the link now in the show notes. Hello and welcome to Women in the Coaching Arena podcast. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Lott, a business mentor and ICF accredited coach, and I help coaches to build brilliant businesses. I know that when you prepare to enter the arena, there is fear, self-doubt, comparison, anxiety, uncertainty. You can tend to armor up and protect yourself from vulnerability. In this podcast, I'll be sharing honest, not hype, practical and emotional tools to support you to make the difference that you're here for. Dare greatly, you belong in this arena. Hello, welcome to the 46th episode of Women in the Coaching Arena. I am so glad you are here. Thank you so much for your feedback on one of my earlier episodes of Choose Your Hard. I actually listened back to the episode a few weeks after I recorded it on the release date and wanted to sneak in and quickly delete it before anyone listened. But I'm very glad that I didn't, because I had so many emails and messages thanking me for my honesty, saying that you really resonate, saying that you're really thinking about which hard you want to choose right now. And no matter what option you go for, that's what you need right now. And always be kind to yourself in those moments. So today I am excited to have a different slant on things, as we are a few weeks into the new year now. So I am no longer feeling the January blues. Today, I wanted to talk about why this moment matters and why this very moment today, the day you are listening, is the perfect time to fully commit to your coaching dreams and your coaching business. So as we are a few weeks into January now, depending on when you are listening, it's the perfect time to commit to the long game. Lately, I've had quite a few experiences with short-term thinking, and I completely get it, because I was exactly the same early on in my journey and I had no idea how much I needed to learn. We can end up going into this thinking we can just sort all this out, and what I really want to share today is that it is an art form, just like your coaching. So just like that MCC coach who has thousands of hours under their belt, which is why they're a great coach, you will not be a great marketeer in the beginning. It is going to take thousands of hours of practice for you to be great at building your business. So commit to the process, just like you have committed to your coaching practice, knowing that every single time you practice is an opportunity for reflection and deepening your learning, knowing that you continuously go on courses and have mentor coaching and do all of the things to make that skill better. It's exactly the same in your business. So embrace the journey, knowing that you will get better every single time you practice. So how can you create more opportunities to practice today? Something we're practicing in my group at the moment is storytelling. We have had several guest experts and a copywriter come into the program, and it's been brilliant to share stories, ask for feedback, and commit to get real live feedback from the people that see that post, which will make you better. So just like your coaching and you being able to listen and reflect back, think about what you could have done differently, it's exactly the same here. So go into this business building journey knowing that you will continue to grow and refine, and it is a practice. Just like coaching, just like yoga, just like being fit, it doesn't suddenly happen. It's a journey and it needs your commitment. My favorite role model, Fabienne, who I've talked about in a few other episodes, has a program which is 2 years long. That is her shortest program that you can work with her. And I actually love that. And I'm not quite courageous enough to launch something like that yet because I worry that people won't commit to 2 years. But I love the way that Fabienne says, getting to 100K is going to take a minimum of 2 years, and getting to 1 million is going to take another 2 years minimum after that. And I'm sure it will take a lot longer for most people too. But I love how she really sets that expectation. And in this online world of everyone wanting quick results and not wanting to put the time in, it's a true inspiration. Okay, my first point was to commit to the journey. So point 2 is to overcome any delay with the power of immediate action. I talked on another podcast about the law of diminishing intent. The longer that time goes on from you having an idea to acting upon that idea, the less likely that thing will ever happen and the less likely you will act at all. So how can you get that idea and take fast, messy action to get it out there in the world? I am doing a 30-day launch program at the moment. So this is generally for people who have a reasonably established business. They already have their foundations in place. They may have an audience. They may already be having sales calls, but they want to have more. They want to launch something really thoroughly, really properly. And it's about fast, messy action, not the long-term building of the brand, which really does need to be done. But it's about just getting that thing out there and overcoming delay and taking immediate action. The feedback from people is often that they make so much progress because it doesn't allow for procrastination. It's really fast paced. It requires you to take action every single day to build your business. Obviously, the action people take is varied, and some people maybe just literally put out their first ever social media post. Other people may go to networking meetings. Other people may run webinars. Obviously, whatever you do will have an impact on your results. But the best thing about this program, and in a way, I don't always enjoy running it because I think sometimes people can think they'll get the result of my business of coaching program, which is a 6-month mentorship, from a 1-month program. And it's not like that. It's not about building your brand, building your audience, all of the things that need to be done really thoroughly. It's really for a different audience who know the foundations, they have their things going on, but they want to take massive action and launch something really thoroughly. So what is one idea that you have going around in your head right now that maybe has been going around in your head for several months or several years? What is one thing you can do today to just move that thing forward? Send that email to someone, call that person up. What is going to help hold you to account to take action on it immediately? So I encourage you to pause this podcast and do that thing right now. I know it's super difficult to take action, especially when you are often on your own in this journey of entrepreneurship. So let's use the power of now to move you forward. Okay, so hopefully you have taken big action or made yourself a note to do that after the podcast. My next point is that small steps create big leaps forward. Again, the power of the offer to market is every single day you do something to build your business. And I'm always really surprised at how hard people find that, because I think what often happens is we get super slow when we have our own business. I mean, I do the same, don't get me wrong. This is a reflection of me as well as loads of other people I know. We allow ourselves to take far too long to do things. And it's like, well, what happened to the 8-hour day? If you haven't got clients right now, then we really should have 8 hours a day to market your business. And that is fair enough if you're in your coaching business full time, which not everyone is. But often think to yourself, if you had a manager right now and you had to report to them at the end of the day what you achieved to build their business in that one day, and you had to warrant your salary every single day to show the impact of the work you have done, how would you rate yourself in a performance review? I feel like I get a lot done, but I still think I would probably be on needs improvement. Maybe I'd be fair, because often it's down to me to do the thing that I don't make decisions quick enough, I don't get enough done, I don't time block enough. I put a lot of other things ahead of my business, like I get super excited when I have a day without calls. So then I go to the gym and I go in the hot tub. And fair enough, this is why we have our business. But I think sometimes, especially in the early days, I am so much stricter now. We can't always be going out meeting people for coffee in a working day. Like, this is your working day. This is your job, just like previous. Would you have been able to do those things before? And how can you really try and get the most out of your working day and out of yourself? For me, that often means going to a different location so I'm not distracted by the housework and all of the things. It means planning in advance. I've started having Sunday planning meetings with my husband, telling him what I'm doing each day, each week, which is really helping, because I think often it's that real granular accountability that makes such a difference, and just having someone to talk to about the ins and outs of it. I am super excited that this week in my program, I have taken on a new mentor coach who has been my personal one-to-one coach. She is going to be personally contacting everyone in my program every single week to check in on them, to make sure they are supported, to make sure that we know, for example, when they have a webinar and how did it go, what could have gone better, to help them to constantly deepen their thinking, reflect on their week, reflect on their priorities. I already have a mass of other accountability in my program, but I am so excited for this more in-depth accountability, because you are 95% more likely to be successful if you have strong weekly accountability in place. Again, my favorite person that I keep mentioning, Fabienne, who I've only met once, but I adore everything she says, talks about the fact that new business owners think they know it all and think they can do it all, and reasonably successful ones know that they need a lot of help and a lot of accountability in place. And she said millionaire business owners, which is all she works with, have daily accountability in place. I know this from so many podcasts and different things I listen to of super successful entrepreneurs. Amy Porterfield, for example, voice notes someone every single morning saying what she's going to do that day, and every single evening saying what she did that day. So there is so much proof of this, and that is why I'm so excited to bring this really, really strong strategic accountability in my program. So I can think, okay, where is this person struggling? How can I help move them forward? So it's going to really help me to be more strategic in my own business and make sure that my clients continue to get the best client results in this industry. Okay, so step 1 was commit to the journey. Step 2 was the power of immediate action. Step 3 is the journey of goal setting. So setting goals is something that I kind of struggle with, because often you feel like, kind of, what's the point? It's so far removed from where I am now. And that is why, again, it's so powerful to really set that goal and know that you will get so much closer to it than if you never set the goal at all. So it's not about reaching the goal. It's about knowing that you are getting closer every single day. I did a vision board with Lara Doherty a couple of years ago now. And I remember when I created the vision board, it actually made me feel quite sick. And I didn't look at it for at least a month after creating it, because it felt like ridiculous. It felt so far removed from where I was. I had raise your voice to make a difference. At the time, I didn't have this podcast. So now it's funny that I have fully stepped into it, but it has taken 2 years for me to really realize all of the things that I had on that vision board. I had a lot about leadership, and it's been amazing to have case studies this year where clients have actually all talked about my leadership. And as someone who has never seen herself as a leader, it's really amazing to hear people say that I'm a great leader of my community. And it's taken a lot longer than I thought. And again, it's back to that first point that we always underestimate how long things are going to take. And I think now 2 years into my vision board, rather than the 1 year that I expected, I have kind of finally realized most of those visions, and I'm probably ready to create another vision board. So how can you stop today and allow yourself a moment of looking back at where you started on this entrepreneurial journey and reflecting on how far you have come, however long that is for you? What have you achieved in that period? Before you started, did you ever think you would be where you are now? Often we have achieved the dream that we set out to do, but we have moved the goalposts. So allow yourself this moment to let it sink in, all of the challenges, all of the lessons, all of the celebrations that you have had on this journey so far. Okay, so step 4 is making practical steps to achieve your dream. So it's about breaking that big goal into actionable steps. Instead of thinking, I want an entire content strategy and an entire month's posts created, break it down and think, okay, here's my first step to achieving that goal. I'm going to just overarchingly map out my content pillars, for example, today. And tomorrow I'm going to do the next step and the next step, rather than making that goal feel so overwhelming and so impossible. And how can you share with your accountability partner, if you have one, what that tiny next step is to achieve your dream? Okay, my final point is the art of the possible. I love this one because it's something we often don't do. So if you are ever in scarcity mindset and feel like it's never going to work, it's completely impossible, then make your brain search for examples of who it has worked for. Has it worked for someone? If it has worked for them, it can work for you too. So take a moment now to think, who does have what I want? What are they doing well? If you find that triggering, then that's often because that person has what you want. And what I know from reflecting on my own triggers is it's usually because they are doing the things that I am not doing. So there is one person that probably triggers me. I'm generally not a comparison type of person. I just stick to my own thing and I don't really look around. But there was one person who I definitely found triggering. And when I reflect on why I found this so triggering, it was generally because she was showing up way bigger, way better than I was. She was speaking her mind, she was giving her opinions, she was speaking in places that I wanted to speak in, that I wasn't prioritizing getting a guest expert spot in. So often think about those own triggers and see what they reveal to you about what you know you could be doing in your business that maybe you are avoiding or not doing right now, and use that as inspiration rather than comparison as to what is possible for you as well. Because if it's possible for them, it is possible for you too. So as we wrap up today's episode, let me just summarize our 5 points. So firstly was commit to the journey. Know that this is a long-term project. This is not a 5 to 10 minute or even 5 to 10 month project. Building a business is a huge project, and I would highly recommend you go into it with 5 to 10 year mindset, not 5 to 10 month mindset. Point 2 was the power of immediate action. How can you take action on that dream today? Do not wait. If you wait more than 48 hours, it's highly unlikely anything will ever happen at all. Our next point was set ambitious goals, knowing that the point is not to reach the goal. The point is to go after the goal and know that you will get way closer than you would if you didn't have the goal at all. Step 4 was to create practical steps and share them with someone to make sure you take small steps, which is the route to your success. And step 5 is the art of the possible. Always be looking to confirm your belief that this is possible. If it's possible for them, it is possible for you too. So I hope this episode has left you fired up to take huge action. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate your time is your most precious resource, and I am so grateful for you being here. And as usual, I encourage you to trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Women in the Coaching Arena. I have a mass of free resources on my website, joannalottcoaching.com. That's Joanna with an A and Lott with 2 T's, joannalottcoaching.com. And I'll also put links in the show notes below. Let me know if you found this episode useful, share it with a friend and leave me a review, and I will personally thank you for that. Remember to trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed. Get into the arena, dare greatly and try.